I just finished installing my kit. Pardon my mess and my tools. Wanted to show you what it looked like from the outside. Ran the rear camera up through the spoiler, through the trunk, so it's attached here on the bottom. Don't really notice it at all. Ran the rear camera up through the spoiler, through the trunk, so it's attached here on the bottom. Don't really notice it at all. Front camera is here next to the mirror. Very stealthy, difficult to see. They actually use black tape so it doesn't stick out. Interior camera I installed up here. So it's actually facing this direction. We'll do the first peel. So that's the interior camera. There's all three. The normal view is going to be the back. You can scroll it up and down. So from my angle, how I have it set, it's tilted down a little bit, so the reflection is actually the back seats, which are black. So you don't really have any sort of reflection in it. It looks very clear. Move it up and down. I usually leave it about there, but it records lower as well. You can see it's writing to the card here. I have all the cables run up underneath here, so you can't see anything, and the power cable is down here. I'll probably move this behind this panel so you can't even see this. One thing I did notice about the rear camera, how they're doing the correction for the distortion, there's something going on where they've tried to change the size near the edges so it doesn't look as weird as you would think on an extreme fisheye. So it's got a very high fisheye rate. You can see that's the spoiler of the car up at the top. But normally this car here would be stretched out and be twice the length of what it normally would be. Same for over here, everything would be really distorted. But they've applied a correction so you can see the houses and the shapes aren't that weird. It looks a lot more like a mirror than what you would see on a normal camera. And so far using it, that seems to be fairly nice and reliable. It's easy to just glance up and see if there's a car in your blind spot on either this side or that side because it's so wide. By the time the car appears on this side of the mirror or disappears on this side, it's about the same as what you would see out the side of the car. So there's not nearly as much of a blind spot driving the vehicle as there was before. Just going to cycle through the different cameras. You can touch at the top for the brightness. Usually leave it on full bright. This switches between the different cameras, so there's the interior camera. You can see it recording while I'm actually moving it. The last one is the front camera, and because I chose to do the interior camera how I did, I had to swap the camera, so this one is upside down, which is fine. If you need to review it or send it to the police officers, they're not going to care. You can also flip it over pretty easy in post. That's all three of them together. Back to the main view. So in order to mount this camera under the spoiler, I've got to get this wire and its extension cord fished through here, magically out that hole somehow. But it also has to be fed through the trunk first because there's no disconnect. So I've got to do this over here by the trunk. And then this will go all the way up to the front through that stuff somehow. In order to fit this over my HomeLink mirror, I had to cut these off with my knife. They were attached there.